Hello, my Teaserking family. How's everybody today? Real good day yesterday. 6 locks, 5 and 1 of my locks. It's a beautiful day. The Notre Dame, the Miami, the USC, North Texas, Texas State, Vandy. What a big day yesterday. Just the way it should be. I had a few strange losses, but they're on smaller games. The big games came through, except for the Tennessee over, which was a joke. But anyway, real strong. We'll go through all that. Let's go through today's spreads. Now, my spreads, my games have been, I posted them last night. So they're all, I had some with, like I already have Detroit's your free play. I had Detroit with Houston Thursday night. So I got it at 4. So if you buy and you see 4, yeah, I played it Thursday. And that's the thing. I play them when they're ready to play. You're basically following my bets, basically, right? So the strategy is if you have if I say 9 units, it's X price. 11 units is X amount. 15, the locks are X amount. So what you pay attention to is the units, and then you should have your own units playing. So you might be $50, you might be $500 on locks or whatever your bankroll fits. So just so you understand that. All right. So let's take a look. Let's go through the line first, then we'll run through college. Baltimore, 13.5, 44.5. As far as I know, it's Tyrod Taylor against Lamar. We'll double check injuries right after. Indy KC, I have seen some threes and 49.5. Okay. Seattle, Tennessee, Seattle 12.5, 41. We've got Minnesota, Green Bay. Green Bay 6.5, 41.5. It's been about 42. Let's go back. So it was Jones against Mahomes in the Indy game. Darnell against Ward in the Seattle game. Mini J.J. McCarthy against Love. J.J. McCarthy couldn't make Alabama's team against Love. The Giants, Detroit, your free play. Now, this is up to 13, total 51. Again, I bet it at 10 on Thursday. So that's why I advise you not to wait till today to buy, but certainly you can. But now, if you get my thing, if you were to buy right now, and I got Detroit as the free play, well, I got it with Houston, so it's already been bet. But what that tells you is I like Detroit, so you should take Detroit. Hey, John Grega, or Grega John. You switched your name from Grega John to John Grega. So, bet it's small, but if you can get 13 or under 12.5 to bet 7, I still think it's a good play. But that's your free pick, Detroit, especially with Winston at quarterback. New England 7.5, 51 against Cincinnati. No Joe Burrow, so you have Flacco, who's injured but will play. A lot of the defense for Cincinnati's out. I don't know if Burrow will play Thanksgiving because they play Baltimore. I don't know what difference does it make if you lose this game. doesn't really help you, but we'll see. Baltimore's not going to lose to the Jets. Chicago 346.5. We will take a look if Aaron Rodgers is playing. I would assume he is, but we'll see. TK, you should do memberships and do exclusive videos on gold. Okay. I don't know what gold is, but I can look into that. Eric, how are you? Professor, Georgia didn't cover them points yesterday. Nope. I thought of you when they won 35-3, but I can't recommend playing a Z team against the Georgia. Yeah, 43, but did you play it? Did you play Charlotte and 43 or 49 in the teaser or whatever? You were excited because you had Charlotte. Well, it's a play I don't recommend taking the Z teams, right? Now Notre Dame, I hope you laid them. I laid them. Like I said, they win, and Jesus was there, and the Pope. So he threw out the first pitch and everything. So that's the thing. Good call, but it's not where I go when I bet. I try to take like I had Oklahoma and I had BYU yesterday, just to name a few. The Air Force under that was, you should have loaded up on that one. All right, so Pitt's 346.5. Jacksonville 2.5, 47.5. Oakland 3.5, 36 with Prime Junior. So is everybody loading up on Oakland today? I would expect so. Atlanta, New Orleans 241. So that's the trust everybody has in Kirk Cousins. I think he checked out. Philly 347.5 to Dallas. I don't know. I think Philly takes him here. The Rams 749.5 to Tampa. Very good game. Tampa with the Baker, they do score very well. They do play very well. They got a very good defense. They're not a bad team. They've had a tough schedule, Detroit, Philadelphia, teams like that. Last week, who they lose to last week was Buffalo. So they're playing the A1 schedule. It's really stupid. And then the last game, the Niners, 7.5, 49.5. I definitely, I don't know. I want to see how Carolina is because I don't know who they're never on TV, and Steve Young stinks. But I think Frisco with Brock Purdy playing better. Greg and John, Zappy is the backup for whom? What, for Prime Junior? Or for Kirk Cousins? Or what team is Zappy on? All right, let's go to the news and let's see. Aaron Rodgers injury update. Here we go. Steelers quarterback to reportedly miss Week 12 game versus the Bears due to wrist fracture. So looks like Aaron Rodgers isn't playing, and it looks like Joe Burrow's not playing. I don't know why not. So Mason Rudolph will start with rookie Will Howard, Ohio State, serving as the backup. I don't see why in the old days Rodgers would play. Let's see what else we got. This is so stupid. Steelers Jalen Ramsey fined 14 for throwing punch after Bengals spit on him. Well, why do you think Jamar Chase spit on him? Because obviously Jalen Ramsey said something to him. This is how stupid the NFL is. So you find Chase is suspended today, but you fine him, and then you're finding the other guy when it was clearly something said by Ramsey that created this mess. So this whole thing's ridiculous. You don't take Chase out of a game because this is entertainment. This is like wrestling. This is like Hulk Hogan. You're finding Hulk Hogan because he spit on somebody. And so he's not, well, this Sunday, WrestleMania, but Hulk's not going to be there because he spit on Andre the Giant or something. I mean, this is so stupid. You can't take Chase out of the game. That's why people come and pay the tickets, you idiots. This unsportsmanlike conduct. Give me a break. All right, let's go. Let's see the injuries. Pretty good. It gives you a team by team. I looked at it last night. I don't think much will change. How to watch? What kind of stupid? How to watch? How to watch the game on Fox? Oh, we're selling Fox One for $20 a month. Who's stupid enough to do that? You have Fox. Oh, we have to see what game? Oh, I got to see the Jacksonville, Arizona game. Give me a break. People don't care. They're betting whatever game's on. I'm fine if I'm watching the Philadelphia Dallas game. I'm fine. I always get the Detroit game, which I couldn't stand watching anyway. All right, how to watch the games. They keep trying to sell this Amazon Prime and all this other crap that nobody's stupid enough to buy. Direct TV. Look at what all this is ads. Where's the fucking injuries? Oh my God, where are the fucking injuries? What did I go down the tube into the wrong thing? All right, here. If they're all on CBS and Fox, why am I getting these other things? I must have hit. Where's my injury news? NFL injury trackers. I watched it last night. All right. They give a good team by team one. All right, here we go. The JETSs, nobody's out. They're all questionable. They'll all play. Morning, Alex. Well, it was a little rough. It wasn't bad. The locks are very good. The Notre Dames, the Miamis, USC's, North Texas, Texas State. There was a lot of good winners. The Utah game, I was debating between Utah and the Utah over, and I ended up taking Utah instead of Utah over. But BYU came through for us. I went 5-1 on the locks and had them in multiple teasers. That was about it. The only, there was just a few bad games, but most of them were. I thought we had a very good day. Anyway, Baltimore, Bateman out and Keenan Martin out. Okay, Indy, linebacker out. Kansas City, Pacheco out. But again, this doesn't include like if the guy's been hurt, like on the Giants, scatterboots. Like they don't show that, so you got to kind of remember that. Seahawks, Torrey Horton out, linebacker out. Not too bad. Tennessee, 2 safeties and a wide receiver out. Minnesota, nobody out. Green Bay, Hobbs and Reed are out. Now, Quay Walker, my Georgia guy, is doubtful. which means he probably won't play, or because it's a neck. It's hard to play with a neck injury. The Giants, Dart's out, the cornerback's out, tight end's out, and Thibodeau's out, the linebacker. That's why the spread's so high. Jameson Winston's going to have a nightmare today. The Lions, cornerback out, two defensive ends out. They weren't even playing anyway. A guard I've never heard of, and the safety, Kirby Joseph, I've heard of. But they seem to be okay in the secondary. New England, a linebacker's out. That's it. Cincinnati, Hendrickson's out. Sample, Taylor Britt. And see, they're not listing that Jamar Chase is out. He's suspended. Pittsburgh, Aaron Rodgers is out. We saw. Highsmith is doubtful. The Bears, their full linebackers are out and two running backs. Jacksonville, Brian Thomas, the LSU receiver's out. Offensive lineman's out. A defensive end and a linebacker are out. So they got some injuries with Thomas. Now it doesn't list Travis Hunter, who he wasn't playing much anyway, but he's out for the year. Arizona, running back I've never heard of, DeMarcado. Marvin Harrison Jr. out. Right tackle, an offensive linebacker, a running back, Trey Benson out. I don't think he's their main. Connor's their runner, and another safety's out. So they got two running backs out and linebacker, safety. It's normal. Every team's got the injuries. Will they miss Marvin Harrison? Probably not. He's not too good. Cleveland, Dylan Gabriel out. Wide receiver and a defensive end out. But they got to play Prime Jr. Oakland, no injuries. How can they have no injuries? Do they not play? Atlanta, now you got Penix out, but they don't list them. You got Drake London out, cornerback, defensive end, and a linebacker out. Two other linebackers are questionable. This is why New Orleans is favored, but New Orleans, Brandon Cook's out. And you're starting Kamara's questionable with an ankle. And then you've got Tyler Shaw as your starter, not because the guy's out, because he sucked. Rattler. I don't understand why what they saw in Rattler. Like we saw, he sucked at Oklahoma. He sucked at South Carolina. Philadelphia, Lane Johnson tackle out. That's it. That's good. Dallas, nobody out. Okay. Tampa Bay, a guard out. Jameel Dean, a corner out. Bucky Irving's out. Well, he's been out. Hassan Reddick's out. He's been out. Chris Godwin is questionable, so I'm curious if he plays. They don't really need him. Ibaka and the other guy are fine. The Rams, Xavier Smith concussion is questionable. And Carolina, the Niners, I still don't have anything. I think the Niners got everybody back, though. And that is it. So we went through the line. So free play is Detroit. And the number, there's two reasons. One, they're off a loss, and two, they're playing a 27 defense in the Giants. And you see the difference in the Lions when they play Philly with a 20 defense or Kansas City with an 18 defense. They don't play. Green Bay and Minnesota, 20 defenses. They play a good defense. They stop the run. They can't. Golf stinks. You can't throw. And that's it. And if they can run, they can play action. TK, you think the Raiders will win? Yeah, I think the Raiders will win. I think you can't bet on Prime Jr. I mean, he was 4-17 last week to Baltimore, who does not have a good defense. I think Oakland is favored. I think they can win, right? They're at home. They think they can win. Now, the only way they don't win is a bunch of turnovers like Myles Garrett. And like even last week against Baltimore, all they did, they got a pick six and a couple of field goals. I mean, that was it. They didn't really score offensively to Baltimore. Um, but having Prime Jr. out there showed how bad he is. I mean, he's not a good quarterback, and that's the key position. So I don't see the Raiders losing today. Um, the free pick, I have one lot going today. Again, I had Houston with Detroit from Thursday night. Um, we'll see. So you got no Aaron Rodgers, you got no Joe Burrow. Now you still have Flacco, who's not bad. New England seems to be good. They seem to be an A team. We'll see. Teaser trends. Play against the Jets, 23-4, 9-1 as a road dog. Nothing on Baltimore because they've been in and out. KC's 12-1 as a home favorite. Indy's 9-1 in the teaser this year. Seattle, Tennessee. Seattle 12-1 on the road the last 2 years. 9-1 this year. Play against Tennessee 24-3, 13-0 at home. This should be a Seattle win, but you're laying points. But if you can get it under 7, again, remember these fixed games, they're laying 13. You can win, but not by 13. So that's where the teaser comes in. Minnesota, Green Bay 10-2 is a home favorite. Love against J.J. McCarthy. You can't bet on J.J. McCarthy. You just, how he beat the Lions just blows your mind. That shows you that really shows you how bad the Lions are to lose to J.J. McCarthy, that they're not smart enough to understand the team they're playing. They play this, we're going to play our game. We're going to do our little runs and our little play actions, and we're going to rush Hutchinson. And they don't know who they're playing. It's the art of war. You attack the weakness and avoid the strength. They don't understand that. What did they do with Philly? They went on fourth down 5 times and didn't get one, including one fake punt, which is seriously, you're still messing around with fake punts. I mean, I think when the Lions go to punt, I think every team just sits there and goes, well, they're going to fake it, and they play a standard defense. So it'll never work again. But I mean, you've got to understand, you're not getting a first down on 4th and 1 or 2 against Philadelphia. Not going to happen. Or Kansas City or the Rams against good defenses. Houston, forget about it. So you got to know your team. So with Detroit here, there's no trend except for play against Giants as a road dog, 11-2. But now you've got Fields or Winston. Well, same thing. You got Winston as quarterback. So they're going to bury Winston. He'll get sacked 5 times. The Lions should be able to run on a 27 defense and off of a loss. Now, capture that on, they've got Green Bay coming up. So this is a must win. They're 6-4. This is must. If they go 6-5 here, and then they got Green Bay, that's 6-6, and they got the Rams, and they got Minnesota again, and even the Bears could beat them. They're in big trouble. So, like I said, they'll be lucky. At best, they'll go, I think, 9-8. And they're showing it there because they got the hard schedule, right? But they're at home, and you can see the injuries. Thibodeau's out, and Scadaboo's out, and Neighbors is out, and Dart's out. Not that he's all great, but you're going to Winston. I'd be scared if it was Russell Wilson, but not Winston. All right. That's your free play. I got 37-10 Detroit. New England, Cincinnati. New England's 10-1 in the teaser this year. Play against Cincinnati is 23-4. So they're a bad team, and they don't have a defense. Hutchinson's out. Hendrickson's out, whatever. There. Pitt and Chicago. I have no trend on this game. Chicago is an over team with the 26 defense, and Pitt an even with the 23. Pitt needs the game because Baltimore's there and Pitt's a dog. It's as far as I can go with that. Caleb against Rudolph. So we don't get Rodgers. Rudolph looked good last week. He's not bad. He's been in the league a while. He should eat up Chicago with no linebackers. Will be hurt. Profit margin, good morning. I wonder if the Raiders will be able to handle Prime Jr. today. I have my doubts. No, they'll be able to. Crosby will be all over him. He'll try to run. I don't know. It's the new thing. Like, let me run, and then they all get hurt. They all get concussions, and it doesn't work. It's a bad thing. Um, so we'll see, but we'll get to that in a minute. Jacksonville, 347.5 to Arizona. Play against Jacksonville, 9-1. Arizona is 5-1 as a whole dog, 5-1 if you bet against it. So it's a simple. They play close games at home. They will have Brissett, who looks okay. You don't have Marvin Harrison Jr. He's not that good anyway. He's better in college. Cleveland, Oakland play against the road dog Cleveland, 11-1, 5-0 this year. Obviously, how much can you take that with Prime Jr.? But if they couldn't win with Gabriel or Flacco, they're not winning with Prime Jr. They're a bad road dog. So we got 3.5. My score: Oakland 17, Cleveland 3. Atlanta, New Orleans. I have no trends. Philly, Dallas. Play against Dallas as a home dog, 7-1. That goes last year and this year. And play against Philly overall, 9-1. But I think Philly wins. I think it'll be a little tight, but I think Philly will just dominate. Jalen Carter, they're not losing to Dallas. Dallas with the 29 defense is the reason. So Hurts will be okay. Barkley should be able to run. And you got to bet defense. 20 defense over 29. So Dallas, who knows what team shows up, right? Tampa Bay, the Rams, this game of the day. The Rams, 18, 17 defense. Tampa, an over team, 25. Beautiful trends here. Tampa, 7-1 is a road dog. Tampa, 13-1 is a road dog the last 2 years. 24-4 in a teaser. Tampa's 13-1 on the road. Play against the Rams as a home favorite is 7-1, so they don't cover at home. Taking the Rams is 25-4. So Tampa's 24-4 in a teaser, while the Rams are 25-4 in a teaser. So basically what you have is the Rams win close at home. You can bet against them. You're 7-1. Tampa's very strong going on the road, as they showed you with Buffalo last week. The only loss, I think, was to Detroit. They got beat. We sort of got screwed in that game. And 24-4 overall. So Tampa covers. The Baker's a big reason for that. You've got Winfield Jr., who's very good as a safety. I believe he's a safety or cornerback. Larry David's good. So they got good teams. The coach I never liked, but he's okay. Or they got a good offensive coordinator. But Baker gets you points. He scores touchdowns. He doesn't throw too many picks. So he's really, I think of all the players they can't lose is Baker. If they've lost Evans and Godwin, and no problem. So it should be a good game. Now, LA could be a little flat after beating Seattle, a big game last week. Last game, Carolina, Frisco, I have no trend on it. Again, Frisco with Purdy, and then they go to Mac Jones, and now Purdy's back. Purdy looked pretty impressive last week. Steve Young still sucks for Carolina. Carolina's doing it on short passes, and then Dowdell runs for some yards, but he ain't going to do that on the Niners. So that is your thing. Overall, teasers, the Rams, New England, Indy, Houston, Denver, Seattle, and Tampa, all are 85% or over in a teaser this year or mostly this year. And that's how I break it out, right? I never would have bet Indiana, New England, and Seattle last year. But now we see who's hot, and then we bet it. Play against the shit teams: Miami, Tennessee, Cincinnati, Arizona, Philly, and New Orleans. So we see that, and that's about it. So I think we've got our injuries, and that's it. So if we go through the quarterbacks, Jets, Baltimore, Taylor, and Lamar. We got Jones and Mahomes in the KC. Should be a good game, but I'm thinking KC's gonna. They kind of have to win. They're 5-5. They're coming off a loss. They're at home. Is Indy really that good? I think it's Jonathan Taylor, and I think they'll be able to, with Spagnola, be able to come out with a defense. But if KC takes the lead, plays like they did against Baltimore, where they just dominated them. I think that's what you're gonna. Then it's gonna be Daniel Jones has to beat us because you can't run Taylor when you're down 14 points, especially in the second half. So that'll be a way. But I this will be like 15 carries for 30 yards from Taylor, I would imagine. It's a very good defense for KC, and that's the problem. And Indy's on the road. They got lucky to beat Denver. It was a bullshit call there. So that's what I see. Seattle, Denver, Darnell against Ward. Darnell choked again last week, 4 picks. Ward, why is Ward playing? Ward has no business playing. He doesn't know what he's doing, first of all. The fact you made him a number 1 draft pick, you'll regret in a year or two as you bench him, like Fields and Caleb and all these other number 1 draft picks. Minnesota, Green Bay, J.J. McCarthy, what's he doing? He'll be gone after this year. And Love. Giants, Detroit, Winston, and Golf. Golf's a choke, but in this game, it's a 27 defense. He'll play well. Winston, what is he doing in the league? Jesus Christ. The New Orleans cuts him. He goes to what? Atlanta, they cut him. Yeah, we'll try him over here. Jesus. They'd have been better with Danny DeVito. I can't believe they got rid of Danny. New England, Cincy, we got Drake May against Flacco. Flacco's been playing okay, but he's had some bad things. He's also got that. Thank you, Greg and John. I appreciate that. I appreciate my free gifts. Thank you very much. Let's see. So that's what you got. Flacco, not sure about. Pitt in Chicago. Rudolph and Caleb. Rudolph looked pretty good last week. Caleb, we know, stinks. He runs around. He can't. He doesn't do any pre-snap reads. So when he gets the ball, all of a sudden he gets flushed out, and all of a sudden he's going back and forth, and he doesn't know what he's doing, and it's really kind of weak. But he's not a very good quarterback. Just because you drafted him 1 instead of Daniels or instead of Bo Nix or Drake May or Penix, well, that's your problem, right? So Rudolph's probably the better quarterback here. He was good at Oklahoma State. Jacksonville, Trevor Lawrence and Brissett. Lawrence stinks. Brissett's actually better. He's been playing well. Cleveland Prime against Geno Smith. 2 bad quarterbacks. Atlanta, Cousins against Shaw. I don't know what happened to Cousins. He literally sucks. This should be a lock. Atlanta getting 8. I did not do that, but this should be. Tyler Shaw is not going to beat you. I don't get this one at all. Hurts against Dak, Philly, Dallas, Baker, Stafford. Those are the 2 best today, and Young at Purdy. So I might add an Atlanta, New Orleans play. I got it's such a big sheet because of a lot of these college ones. The locks went good. My locks yesterday, Oklahoma over Missouri. Easy win. I saw them beat Alabama, and I knew they would not be flat. And I don't know if they're in the playoff or not because they did lose to Texas. But they had to win. I was a little bit nervous when Pribella, the quarterback from Missouri with the broken ankles out there playing. He dislocated the ankle but didn't break it. How can you do that? You dislocated it. It's broken, right? So he's out there playing, and I knew he wouldn't be good, and I knew they wouldn't be able to run the ball because Oklahoma's got a really good run defense. So they weren't going to be able to run it. And Oklahoma steals signs, but I knew they didn't have it, and I knew Oklahoma would play a very good game. So After beating Alabama, you're not going to be flat the next week. You're going to be like, oh, hey, we just beat Alabama. So Oklahoma, look at them. So that one, BYU, I love BYU. They're only laying 3.5. I thought it should have been 10. I said, well, I still got, I think 2.5 or 3. I think it was 3.5. So I still had 2.5 in BYU, and they win the game the way they shut out 27-14. I knew they'd win it. That's why I locked it. But so those two were gold. The next lock, the free pick, Air Force under. That was a joke. I saw the under go down in class yesterday, and I knew that was gold. And like I said, Air Force is an under team now. They didn't score, but it was like 20. It was like 20-3 or 20-6. And when I first gave you the free pick, it was a 57 total. And I said to you that Vegas doesn't catch on, right? There's no way that's total should have been more than 45, but they're giving me 12 more points plus the teaser. So that was a beautiful free play. And then I locked it anyway. As soon as I saw it, I immediately gave you the free play. I immediately locked the game. The next one was the Texas-Arkansas over. That was a joke. As I pointed out, Arkansas played Texas A&M 44-41. And so at the end, this was like a 52-35 game. This was like 87. The total on the game was 50-something. What was it? 50. It was 57. So it was 51. And at halftime, it was 24-20. It was a 44 at half. And understand the second half, you usually score more points because the team's tired, right? You played a first half. You're not as fresh as the start of the game. And now you got the second half. So usually I knew it was gold at that point. So that's lock number 4. Lock number 5 was, who was lock number 5? Oklahoma. Oh, yeah, Arizona, Baylor over. Well, as I say, you can probably lock Baylor every week over, and they're going to win for you. I was a little bit nervous when I saw the score was a 58, but then I saw the point was 62, so I needed 56, so I got there. I thought Baylor would score more, but with their 30 defense, they give up a lot. In Arizona with Fajita, that was lock number 5. And then the only lock I lost was Tennessee, Florida, where Tennessee got up 31-0 and decided not to play the second half. They just ran the ball. Florida, the coach is running the ball. They're down 31-0. He's running the ball in the third quarter. You're like, seriously? Their quarterback stinks, Langway. But I watched the Ole Miss Florida game, and I watched the Florida Texas game, and I said, well, they can score. They should be able to get 20 for us. And I thought Texas would get their 40 and we'd have no problem. We only needed 52. So I said, no, that's doable. Probably shouldn't have locked it, but I did. But I thought Tennessee, they don't have a defense, but Florida was just so inept offensively that the Slangway is terrible. I can't believe he's their quarterback. And then this is why your coach gets fired. He puts in a guy who's more of a runner than a passer. And like against LSU, he threw 6 interceptions. I mean, this is the guy who's not a quarterback. Why do you have him as your quarterback? Well, he's an athlete. He can run. You need a guy who can throw. It's like let's say this is baseball. It's like putting a fast guy as your pitcher. Well, but he can't pitch. He can't put the ball over the plate. Well, yeah, but he's fast. He can cover the ground and be like, he's a good defensive pitcher, right? And that's the problem. You can't have these running court. They never work. They've never won anything. Lamar, oh yeah, he's won 0 playoff games against decent teams. Josh Allen, oh yeah, he hasn't won. Oh, Mahomes throws the ball really well. Yeah, he's the one who wins all the time. That's why I struggle with Jalen Hurts. He doesn't really throw the ball very good. Golf throws, but he's a choker. But Stafford looks he doesn't run, and Darnell, well, but Brady never ran, Peyton Manning never ran, Montana never ran. Those are your star quarterbacks, are guys that can put the ball right where that needs to go, and that's the difference. Anyway, let's look ahead to college. The other winners I had, if I go through my list, Oklahoma lock winner, Miami winner. I did not play Georgia. I did call that South Florida UAB under. It was 69, and I said it's never getting there, and it didn't. It got 66. I was proud of that. I didn't play it. BYU, another lock, another winner. The Utah game I fucked up on. I couldn't decide if I wanted it over 52. I can't believe I didn't play it over. I'm scared of the Utah defense for some reason, but they didn't look like they had one yesterday. Kansas State ran through it, and I really should have went over, but I took Utah instead. They needed the game. I hit North Texas. I hit the Arizona Baylor lock. I lost on Kansas. Well, that was a small play. And then let's see. I won Notre Dame. That was a joke. 21-0, and then 2 minutes into the game, they score 70. I love that one. Texas over, won. Vanderbilt won. USC won. The Iowa game, and this is what was getting me, is like I put Iowa in two teasers, so that's on a unit thing. As Alex is talking, I lost, but I really had a good day picking. It was just like Iowa and two teasers type of thing. Michigan, I lost. I went Michigan under. I was surprised that they scored so much. They had their third string running backs in there. Texas State wins. We have the Air Force under winning. Georgia Tech, that was another one that lost, and the Florida lost. So I had a really good day. Just some of the doubles lost, unfortunately. So let's look at next week. So I look at it as how many picks did I win? And the fact I double up or not, yeah, it's frustrating. But the locks won, and I'm always bet more on the locks. They were all 25 units. All right. I love how Alabama beat like Mercer or something. Like, really? And all they look at is their record instead of who they play. You should get points if if Alabama beats Georgia, you should get 10 points. If Alabama beats a high school team like they did yesterday, they shouldn't get any points because they're not even a Division I team. All right. I know Michigan, Ohio State is next week. Ohio State's now lost 4 in a row, so I've given up on the revenge factor already. Oh, these stupid Tuesday games. Bowling Green and UMass. All right. Well, there's 2. There's nothing on Wednesday. Thanksgiving, they're actually Navy and Memphis. Who the hell is going to watch that? Let's see. All right. Old Miss, Old Mississippi State. So Friday, this is usually a big day, Thanksgiving week. Old Miss, Old Mississippi State. Iowa and Nebraska. Iowa, what the hell happened to them? They gave up 14 points to Michigan State and their backup quarterback, but they didn't score anything, which I was kind of surprised. Utah goes to Kansas. Air Force goes to Colorado State. Another under. Georgia Tech. Better be careful, Georgia. See, and that was Georgia Tech looking ahead? No, because that game was to go to the final in the ACC because they and Pitt were tied. They had one loss, so this was to win the division and then go to the playoffs. And Georgia Tech screwed up. I guess there was a 100-yard interception return. Poor Haynes King, he doesn't do that. But yeah, they fucked up. They weren't looking ahead to Georgia. Temple, North Texas. We've been loving North Texas this year. A&M, Texas. This is a monster game. This will be high scoring. Texas does not have a pass defense. We've seen it now how many times? Arkansas, Mississippi State, Vanderbilt, Georgia put up over 30 on them. A&M will put up over 30. Now, I don't believe A&M's the number 3 team in the country. Yes, they beat Notre Dame by 1 on a miracle at the end, and then they barely beat Arkansas. I don't buy. I would take Texas Tech if they played Texas A&M. They get Texas, who's, like I said, a weak pass coverage, probably goes over here. We'll see what the over is 51.5. There you go. Yeah, this is an over. Indiana and Purdue. This is a rivalry game, but I don't think Purdue gives them much of a problem. Arizona State. Arizona State doesn't have their quarterback. He's out. Whatchamacallit? I can't think of his name. But the backup's playing nothing great. Arizona, probably the better team here. Kentucky, Louisville, rivalry game. Clemson, South Carolina. South Carolina's starting to play better. I told you to stay away from Coastal Carolina yesterday, and they killed them. They won like 57-7. So be careful there. But against Clemson, this teased the dog game, I think. Toledo, Central Michigan. This is a good game. Toledo, they did beat the Z team yesterday, pretty bad, 38-9. Yeah, all the Z teams got hammered. Texas State beat Lou Monroe, and even Troy beat our Z team that we've been betting against, Georgia State. So everybody gets a win on Georgia State. Ohio State, Michigan. Here's your first line. This is big noon. What are you doing showing this game at noon? What are you kidding me? Ohio State 11.5, 44.5. Now, the receivers sat out yesterday for Ohio State. I guarantee you they're not sitting out next week. Unless they got broken legs, right? Ohio State's lost this game 4 times in a row, and I'm not sure they're going to win this one. Michigan knows how to defend them. They usually have a very good defense. Offensively, the quarterback stinks. They're on the 3rd string running back. So I don't know. I mean, right now, 44.5, I'm thinking under, but it's frustrating with them. Iowa State, Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State, the Z team. Florida International, Sam Houston. Florida International, they're going to pound them. Sam Houston, the Z team. Cincinnati at TCU. Tease the dog. UCF, BYU. This is going to be a nightmare. BYU by 30. SMU, Cal. SMU's been hot, but be careful here. Houston and Baylor. Houston stinks. I was watching the Houston game with TCU, and they didn't do anything. They lost 17-14. Give them credit for the defense, but you can't give them credit. Their offense sucked. The guy missed 2 field goals. Baylor, we know Baylor. Those Robertson, they'll score 30 and give up 30. So we'll see what the total is here. Colorado goes to K-State. Well, the way K-State played Utah, I wouldn't want Colorado here. They're basically getting blown out every game. Texas Tech, West Virginia. Oh, this is going to be a massacre. Tech 10-1. Somehow Arizona State beat them. Sam Lovett, but West Virginia is terrible. Miami goes to Pitt. Pitt with the big win yesterday, but if Miami wins, then they're both 2 losses in the conference. So I don't know if Miami then gets the thing. I got to look that up. VTech, Virginia. Virginia needs this to get into the title game of the ACC. They will kill them. They're much better. Wake Forest and Duke. Duke's pretty good. Wake killed somebody yesterday. UTEP and Delaware. Georgia Southern and Marshall. Look for an over there. Old D and Georgia State. Here we go. Take Old D. We don't even have to look. I don't care what the spread is. It's Georgia State. We missed an opportunity yesterday, but I don't know. I was going to bet Utah anyway, and the Florida Tennessee. Maybe that wasn't a lock, but everything else was good. Western Kentucky, Jacksonville State. They almost beat LSU. It was like 13-10. Western Kentucky, Jacksonville State. So LSU's playing defense, but no offense. Tech, Missouri State. Missouri State lost to Kennesaw State by 7. Arkansas State, App State. This is Sun Belt. UAB, Tulsa. Lou Monroe, Lou Lafayette. We got to go with Lou Lafayette there. Lou Monroe, the Z team. Middle Tennessee, New Mexico State. I think they're both Z teams. Boston College, Syracuse. Syracuse stinks, as shown by the Notre Dame. Boston College isn't much better. South Alabama, Texas State. This should be high scoring. Texas State put up a ton of points yesterday on who did they play? On Lou Monroe. Yeah, Texas State's good offense. Missouri, Arkansas. Interesting game. Missouri, pretty good defense. They're going to run it down Arkansas's throat with that guy who ran for 300 2 weeks ago, not last week. Arkansas, they can score. They can't play defense. Army gets UTSA. Army's not that good. Vanderbilt, Tennessee. This is probably going to be your free play. It's probably going to be an over. It's definitely going to be an over. Daggio threw for 450 yards yesterday and 5 touchdowns. Tennessee, we know they can score at home, and they're not going to sit on the ball like they did against Florida. You're facing a real quarterback here. Now, anything under 60, free play. In the 60s, we'll see how high it is. Now, this should be my line. I'd make it 67. So let's see what Vegas can do. I doubt they'll be that high. Oregon goes to Washington. This is a tough game. Oregon not as good on the road. They did beat SC. I think they had a kick return or some interception return. We did cover. We had 16 in USC. Washington killed UCLA last night, like 48-10. They're a good team. I like their quarterback. This should be a good game. Wisconsin, Minnesota rivalry game. Wisconsin's getting hot now. They beat Illinois pretty bad. Illinois is a mystery. They lose to Wisconsin. They beat USC, lose to Wisconsin. This is probably an under and probably a dog. LSU goes to Oklahoma. Oklahoma would probably kill them. LSU's getting better defensively, so this probably could be an under if we get in the 50s. Otherwise, Oklahoma will win. LSU just with no offense. Penn State goes to Rutgers. Penn State looks like a real team now. Basically, Penn State saying, screw that, and we're running the ball every play. And that's what they did. Penn State ran the ball every play and just ran it down Nebraska's throat. But again, with Eller, they kept throwing the ball, and he stinks. And then they were losing all the games. But had they just done what they're doing now and running these star running backs, they would not be 5-6 right now. Troy goes to Southern Miss. We like Southern Miss there if the quarterback's playing. I don't know what happened to him. James Madison against our Coastal Carolina. Got to be careful. James Madison's 10-1. They're the A team in that bracket. Florida State, Florida. Oh my God, 2 terrible teams. Oregon State, Washington State, 2 terrible teams. Rice and South Florida. Look for South Florida. Maryland and Michigan State. I don't know who Michigan State is. I mean, Jesus, they get killed by Penn State, and then they go and almost win at Iowa. with their backup quarterback. What the fuck's going on there? In a 30 defense, and Iowa doesn't score. Charlotte goes to Tulane, and what probably will be a lock. Tulane depends on what they're laying. Alabama, Auburn. We got a line. Alabama 5.5, 51.5. Like Alabama. This is a playoff game because not for Auburn, but for Alabama. Alabama has to win to get in the playoffs. So we'll see. They needed to win against Oklahoma, but they didn't get it. And USC, UCLA. I don't know what it is anymore. I thought it'd be an over, but I don't know what UCLA is doing. Northwestern and Illinois. Illinois. I don't know. Their Northwestern's been playing well. North Carolina, NC State, Vegas, and Nevada. Notre Dame goes to Stanford. Notre Dame has to win the game. They'll win by 50 again. And Wyoming, Hawaii, I don't know. So that's next week's. Let's see if we got any line changes. Baltimore 13.5, 44.5 to the JETSs. KC 3, 49.5 to Indy. Seattle 12.5, 41.5. Green Bay 6.5, 41.5. Detroit 13.5, 50.5. New England 7, 51. The Bears 3, 46. Jacksonville 3, 47.5. Oakland 3.5, 36. New Orleans 241. Philly still 347.5. I don't understand why Philly's only 3. The Rams 749.5 and Frisco 7.5, 49. I'll be right back. Just 1 second, please.